Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming to our presentation here as we dedicate the Marion American Legion Post 298 Memorial Centennial Plaque. It'll keep our 50-year plaque company. On the obelisk was done in 1969. Roger Norfolk will tell you more about that a little bit later on. First of all, I'd like to have the American Legion Post 298 Color Guard present the colors. And salute. If you join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, please remove your hats. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Recover. This time, I'd like to recognize the county commander, Lynn County Commander, Ron Tyne. All right. Post Commander Tommy Thompson. I don't think we have anybody from the department here. I'm Dick Hogan, District Commander. We'd like to recognize Marion's past commanders. Would all of you who are past commanders of the Marion Post, please raise your hand. Thank you for coming. I'd like to also recognize the mayors, past mayors of Marion, who are post members. If you guys could raise your hand. Paul Wren, Rick Lockenstein, Snutz Buska. Thank you for coming, gentlemen. Any other, I know we have Mayor Abu Azali here. Anybody else from the city or county anywhere? City manager. Chamber president. Thank you for coming. Department Centennial Chairman Roger Norfolk will now give us some historical information about the Marion American Legion Post 298 and the monument. Roger? By the way, Roger is the district commander-elect. He'll be taking over my spot in about July 21st.
Just taller and with more class. So my role this morning is kind of telling you the history of some things. Not a lot of people actually know when World War I ended. Everybody thinks it was November 11th. But that Armistice Day is a temporary ceasefire. It was extended 3 times before 28 June when the Treaty of Versailles was signed, which actually ended the war. That's quite a while. The fighting had ended. Those doughboys had gone through things no one else had done before. Machine guns were a new thing to warfare. Trench warfare, tanks, poison gas. And they lived in the mud for weeks. It was a horrifying experience for them. These guys had been around since the end of, many of them have been around since the end of the Civil War in 1865, which was just 54 years earlier. When you think about it, the veterans from that war, many of them would have known them. Many of them would have been able to have seen the support that was available for them. So in early January of 1919, some officers got together. Most notable among that was Teddy Roosevelt's son. And they began discussions on forming a group of veterans to take care of other veterans. And that's how the American Legion started. Next, in Paris, on March 15th through 17th, there was the Paris Caucus. It was attended by enlisted and officers on equal basis. There's a short story about some sergeant was in charge of a meeting and some lieutenant general stood up to say something and he told him to sit down. Not a popular thing in those days. The Legion then continued on to the St. Louis Caucus, which was May 8th through 10th. In St. Louis, they came up with the name the American Legion and finalized it. Also wrote the first Constitution in 3 days. Think about it. If you were trying to form a new organization, those things in 3 days, that's an amazing task. Also our preamble. Our preamble, the thing that we say at the beginning of each of our meetings, kind of lays out what we're all about. And we're very proud to have that. Marion's history here actually begins with the meeting of 15 individuals who signed an application for charter on 21 October 1919. This application is how the numbers of the posts are normally assigned. Marion was the 298th application in the state of Iowa. Spencer is post number 1. On 14 November, that application was forwarded by Iowa's headquarters, and on 19 November, the post had its first meeting. We still have those minutes from that meeting. Our permanent charter didn't arrive until August 1st, 1920. We have 4 post members who were mayors of Marion. Vic Klopstein was 1988 to 2003. Is that correct? John Nealon from 2004 to 2008. Paul Rain, 2008 to 2012. And then Snooks, where are you? Okay. Snooks Buska, 2012 to 2015. As you saw from the hands raised earlier, we have 19 living past commanders, and a good number of them are here. Al Edsel, sitting here, is our senior past commander. He was post commander in 1967, and his son Mike, standing behind him, was the commander in 2007, 40 years apart. And Mike was last year's state commander. We're pretty proud of having that from our post as well. We have had 92 post commanders to this point, past commanders, and Tom here, where's Tom? He is actually our 93rd post commander. Many of those have had command more than 1 year, is how we've gotten 100 years into that. The person who's had the most of them is Dick Hogan, who did it for 3 years. This freedom flame first shows up in minutes of the park board on November 1st, 1968, when the idea was presented by Mr. Creamer of the Post. In February of 1969, they got tentative approval and approval for the original open flame. This was gas-fed at that time. The approval reads, granted request of Marion Post 298, the American Legion, to erect a Freedom Flame Memorial in honor of the Legion's 50th anniversary in City Park. On 22 May, the building permit was approved, and the cost was estimated at $300. But when you think about it, a new car was under $2,000 at that point.
Yeah.
Marion Sentinel said work was progressing. I did not find the date of dedication. Here we stand today with the memorial spruced up by the Post Centennial Committee and a new plaque affixed with the honoring of the 100th anniversary of the American Legion. We are a group of wartime veterans that continue to serve our community, state, and nation. We are proud to be a part of and continue to support this community and all of its veterans. It is part of our vision for the next 100 years.
Thank you, Roger. Should also mention that Roger is also the department's centennial chairman. Another honor that Marion Post has, and we're very proud of that. I'd like now to get Post 298 current Commander Tom Thompson to give us some comments. Tom?
Thank you, Dick.
just want to thank everyone for coming out today. This is a great occasion to honor the 100th anniversary of the American Legion and of our monuments. I'm very honored to be serving as commander of the post this past year, and look forward to continuing the cooperation between the city, the community, and the American Legion in the future. Thank you very much again for coming out.
Thank you, Commander. This time we'd like to get to Marion Mayor and Nick Osley to give us some comments. Was I close enough?
That was perfect. Good job. Well, good morning. It's my absolute pleasure to be involved in this celebration today. When Dick contacted me about a year ago, or I guess at the beginning of the centennial year celebration, I was really happy to accept the invitation to meet with him and to come up with ideas on how to celebrate this year. This is a very important occasion, not only for the members of the post, but for everyone in Marion. The Legion means a lot to our entire community. Your important service and care for veterans, your commendable commitment to our youth and the families, your work in the community, your promotion of patriotism are just some examples of how you represent all that is good in our nation. And we need you to continue doing that. You are our role models and examples of what it means to serve and to show compassion and to be good citizens and to love God and country.
So that experience at Boise State allowed me to test my leadership skills and to gain confidence, and really propelled me to serve in many leadership roles at every stage of my life, leading up to my current role, the honor of and privilege of being the mayor of this great town. So on behalf of the city staff, the entire city council, all 41,000 residents of Marion, I really sincerely congratulate you on this centennial year. Thank you for allowing us to celebrate with you. And thank you for all that you do in our community. And I hope that you will continue to be role models and examples for us. And we're really pleased to celebrate with you your 100th year and the unveiling that we're about to witness here today. So thank you. I did want to do one more thing. At the beginning of the centennial year celebration, we did present a proclamation at the City Council, and I just want to read that proclamation to all of you here today in case you were not with us that day. It was honoring the centennial year, and I'll just read it here for you. The American Legion whereas the American Legion and Marion Post 298 have been staunch advocates for veterans and their families since 1919. And whereas the American Legion and Marion Post 298 were founded on the four pillars of care for veterans, a strong national defense, Americanism, and children and youth. And whereas the American Legion and Marion Post 298 have played leading roles in affecting the lives of Americans in every community, from the U.S. Flag Code to the GI Bill. And whereas Marion Post 298 has fulfilled the Legion's mission since 1919 through programs such as Boys State, Girls State, oratorical, baseball, scouts, community service, aiding veterans. And whereas the American Legion is now celebrating its centennial through Veterans Day 2019, now therefore I, Nicholas Abu Asali, Mayor of the City of Marion, Iowa, do hereby proclaim 2019 as American Legion Centennial Year.
Thank you, Mayor. Now, if you would get on one side and Commander get on the other. Forgot to bring my drum for a drum roll, but if you would please unveil the Centennial Plaque. All right, there it is. I hope we're all here for the next one. Okay. The mayor has something really nice to present to Commander Thompson. It's funds derived from the City Veteran Street Flag Program. Mayor?
Thank you. Okay, so I'm sure you are well aware that we have a Veterans Banner Program, which has been a very successful and popular program where we have the veterans pictures on the banners on 6th Avenue. And this program actually was a reason why we were selected as an all-star community. Oh, I'm sorry, not the all-star community award, but we got a community beautification award for it through the the Iowa Main Street program. There we go, I got that right. Anyway, it has been recognized across the state, and other communities have been calling, trying to figure out how to replicate this program. So it's been very successful, and we have a check to present to the Legion to use in any way to support veterans, any way that you see fit to support the needs of veterans. This check is in the amount of $6,250 from the program.
Thank you, Mayor, very much. That is wonderful. One group I want to recognize before we leave is the Marion Color Guard, Post 298 Color Guard. The gentlemen you see in the uniforms. They do a great service for the post and the community. They go to several veterans' funerals a year, represent the post well, and help give our departed comrades to depart this earth with some honor. So how about a nice round for the Color Guard?
You know when you're reading notes and giving a speech, how you often miss things? I'd like to introduce Post 298's only female commander, Mary Clapp, and next to her husband, Carl Clapp, consecutive years as commanders for our post.
Thank you, Roger. I was going to do it for our ceremony. A couple of things I'd like to mention that the public is more than welcome to attend. On June 30th at Marion Post, we will have a car show from about 1 to 5 in the afternoon. Old cars, maybe a few new ones and that too, but it should be a good time. Oh, there goes one now. So we invite you all out to that. There's no charge to get in. And then on September 1st from 1 to 4 p.m., we're going to have a public open house at the Marion Post. You're all invited to come out, tour the facility and say hello. Some of your veterans or ARC members sign up. So we'd appreciate it if you'd consider that as well. Any other closing comments, Tom?
I want to thank everyone that's been involved in the Veterans Flag, so that we've actually raised a lot of money to help the Legion. I want to assure everybody that these funds are donated to the American Legion Post 298 to assist veterans in the community for essential and emergency needs as verified by the Post. So again, I appreciate everyone who's been involved with the flags and honoring veterans and their families in this community. Thank you again, everybody.
Thank you very much. We want to have the color guard retire the colors, please. Hand salute. Two. Thank you so much for coming, everyone, and hope you have a wonderful day.